As ABSA, we've been involved with FASA even before I started at ABSA. So that's more than 30 years that we've been involved with the association and various other associations as well. And I think from a banking perspective, why it is so important for us to be involved is that because of networking sessions like we see here today. But I think if I look at myself personally, I remember attending my first FASA conference and expo, or IFE, in 1997. And from there, I think all the industry stakeholders, franchisors, franchisees, service providers to the industry that I met over the years. So I think if you want to broaden your network, it is very important to be associated with the franchise association. The franchise industry is a very, very close-knit industry. It's also a place where one can go to if you want to understand what are the trends in the industry. And I think that also brings me to one of the points about sponsorship and why ABSA has been involved with so much sponsorship to the association, because we've been involved from expo perspective, but also we sponsored some of the surveys and to understand what are the trends, challenges in the industry, and how can we as a bank then counter that or support the industry to overcome maybe some of these challenges. I think also something that's very important to me is that everyone asks the question when they want to join the association or when they join the association, but what can the association do for me? And I would actually like to turn that question around, and it is a case of what can you do for the association? Because I think we have a lot of well-established franchisors that over the years maybe cancelled their membership to the association, but I think they've got a responsibility to the industry, and that is why we've been long-standing members of the association and to give support to the industry, because we benefited from the industry and still benefit from the industry. And I think there's a lot of franchisors that benefited from the industry, and they should actually come and share their experiences with up-and-coming franchisors and maybe new franchisees starting up their businesses. So it's a give and take, and I think it's not, as I mentioned, it's not always a case of what can the association do for me. So it basically works both ways, And I think, and maybe the last point from my side is then also the support that the industry provide in terms of trying to create an environment where everyone conforms to some sort of ethic and bringing some sort of a minimum standard to the industry. What are the minimum compliance in terms of a franchise agreement, a disclosure agreement, and operations and procedures manual? Because there's hundreds of franchise brands in South Africa, but it's not a case of that you can trust all those brands and to do business with all those brands. So I think from an industry perspective or from an association perspective, it's important that FASA is the voice of the industry and that they attempt and try to promote that ethical part that is sometimes lacking. So I'm going to stop there, and maybe if there's any questions for me, I'm happy to address those. But I think to be a member and to be a participating member of the association is very important.